Alrighty, good Thursday morning, everybody. It is February 20th, and let's jump right into this thing. So, we've had quite the past couple of 24 to 36 hours. We actively are seeing snow continuing to fall here in downtown Roanoke. As I look out the window yet again, we're continuing to see some light to moderate snow fall. Some of the roadways are turning a little bit white, maybe a little bit of a slush out there. So if you're planning on heading out the door or commuting anywhere within the next couple of minutes, just take extra precaution out there. Here's a look at the snowfall totals for the past. I've looped the last 2 days just because yesterday some snowfall started right around 3 a.m. for some of us. So I've looped in the last 2 days, but most of the snowfall has come within the last 24 to 26 hours or so for the majority of us. Raleigh, seeing 5.2 inches of snow. Roanoke, 1.5. Let's actually dive in a little deeper and get an analysis of what's going on over here in parts of eastern Virginia. Let me get the query pixel out here really quickly. Virginia Beach, look at all that snow that they've seen. Close to about a foot in some areas, I believe. Yeah, there you go. 12 inches just east of Suffolk, south of Virginia Beach, near the Norfolk area, seeing close to about 10 inches. Richmond, seeing 3.5. Emporia, Petersburg, about 4 to 5 inches of snow. So we just missed out on some of the heaviest of this stuff. In fact, the storm track was a little bit more oriented west to east rather than a more southwest to northeast track that we were thinking about. So this is roughly the orientation of the track of the storm that we saw, whereas earlier over the course of the weekend, some of the forecast models were kind of taking it up this direction, which would have had more of an impact here locally. So that's unfortunately not what we saw, or fortunately, if you didn't really want to see the snow. In terms of snowfall totals over the past 24 to 30 hours for the Roanoke area, as well as southwest and central Virginia, the south side really had a big hole here. Same with the Lynchburg area, though I have seen reports out of Lynchburg that you guys received close to an inch, inch and a half in some areas. It just so happens to be that we're getting our data from in Lynchburg didn't receive too much snowfall. But all around, anywhere from about a half an inch all the way up to 2, maybe 3 inches in some areas of Bland, Giles, and Craig counties. Western Greenbrier, always going to see more snow than most places. But that's sort of a recap on the last 24 to 30 hours across the board in terms of snowfall. I'm trying to get to this to advance here. To our next graphic. All right, there we go. So here's a look at what we're tracking for the day. Snow is eventually going to clear up within the next couple of hours. It may be snowing in your backyards or in your neighborhoods right now, but eventually that goes away later today. And then unfortunately the gusty winds make a return. A little bit of sunshine this afternoon, more tomorrow. Going to be turning warmer tomorrow thanks to that sunshine. Winds maybe a little gusty at times, but nowhere near what we're going to be experiencing later this afternoon and then this upcoming weekend. More sunshine and more warmth. Winter weather advisory is still in place for all of us. If you remember yesterday, the Lynchburg area, Southside area, were under a winter storm warning that has since been downgraded to a winter weather advisory. These are all in place until 1 p.m. today, and that's because we're expecting a lot of this snow to start to wrap up shortly later this morning, and if not, into the early afternoon by 1 o'clock. Here's a look at national radar. Starting to see some snow build in from the Great Lakes region. So let's do a little bit of a meteorological analysis here. We've got this area of low pressure, which is bringing in some of this onshore flow as it exits out this way, just based on the nature of the cyclonic nature of low pressure. We've got this onshore wind bringing in some moisture into these areas. And then from up here, we've got moisture off the Great Lakes, as well as some cold air being funneled in thanks to an upper level area of low pressure right around here. That's creating some lifting mechanism. So we got some cold air supply from up north, some moisture from the east, So that's what we're dealing with this morning, and because of that, as we have a little bit of a closer look at central and southwestern Virginia, we're continuing to see some of these snow bands right in this blue color, with more of the significant snow actually right in this area here, right along Franklin County into Bedford, from about Boone's Mill all the way up into the Smith Mountain Lake area into Bedford is where we're continuing to track some of the heavier pockets of snow, but it is light to moderate for the most part. That's a look at current radar. And then as we progress forward in time, in about an hour's worth of time, a lot of those snow showers start to push off towards the east. And we see the highest impacted areas going to be the Lynchburg South Side area through about 10, 11 a.m. And then once we get to noon, 1 o'clock, the winter weather advisories expire. All of the snow pushes out towards the east. Something that you'll notice is that Greenbrier, Pocahontas counties right along 64 might see some more snow showers move in after the main event is over. But something else that you'll notice, majority of us have mostly clear skies building in, partly cloudy from time to time. And then our winds really start to increase. We'll be noticing winds peaking around 30, 35 miles per hour. For areas along the Roanoke Valley and east into the Piedmont. For areas west of the Roanoke Valley, like Pulaski, Wytheville, Grayson, towards mouth of Wilson and Hillsville, gonna be pretty windy, close to 40-mile-an-hour winds, maybe 45 at times. So when we factor in that cold air that's moving in from the north and the gusty winds, we get our real feel. So Roanoke, even though temperatures are right around the low to mid-20s out there right now, feels closer to about 10 to 15 degrees, a little bit colder for the New River Valley, probably between about 0 and 7 degrees right now. So going to be cold out there all day long. Let's dive in a little bit closer, show you the future wind chill at 9 a.m. Floyd, -1. It's going to be really, really cold out there. Hot Springs, 0 degrees by 9 a.m. Roanoke feeling like 12, Lynchburg 24. But you'll notice as we progress throughout the rest of the morning and then eventually into the afternoon, those temperatures, or the feels like temperatures rather, in the Hill City and in Southside continue to go down. Danville, 15 degrees, 16 degrees by about 6 p.m. 11 degrees is what we'll be feeling like in South Boston, between about 0 and -5 for the New River Valley around sunset. The Roanoke Valley, the Highlands, between about 5 and 15 degrees. So going to be pretty cold out there. It's only going to get colder as we progress throughout the night, thanks to those winds that will continue. Over the next couple of days, it's going to be cold out there today. Just talked about that. Tomorrow, again, a little bit more sunshine, mostly clear skies, maybe a couple of upper-level cirrus clouds. Cold air still being brought in by the jet very close to us right here from out of the north and west. So that's going to tug and pull in some cold air from up north in Canada. Then once we get to Saturday, going to start off a little bit cold. Then we'll actually sort of warm up. We'll be closer to average, but still going to be fairly cool out there. We're talking about mid-40s or so. Then once we get past Saturday, mostly clear skies for Sunday. The jet stream starts to lift off towards the north. Cold air retreats towards the north. Warm air moves in off the plateaus of Mexico. And then we'll be dealing with an area of high pressure on Sunday. So 51 degrees is your forecast high on Sunday. More sun than clouds, and it's certainly going to be warmer. If you're a fan of the warmer temperatures, got some good news. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Once we get to next week, 55 Monday, 60 for Tuesday. So I'm certainly looking forward to that. I just came back from vacation out in Denver. It snowed almost 3 feet out there when I was in the Rockies. Coming back here for more snow. I'm kind of over winter. I know some of you at home are over winter. I know some of you really enjoy the winter. And if that's the case, try to enjoy this Weather Authority Alert Day as we're continuing to track some snow showers moving across the region. Other than that, take care. Everybody stay